All right, we are back on a Mass Culture Podcast, episode number 3. Well, Ron, what's new with you?
Well, I have no, I don't know. We've been having some technical difficulties. Finally got the computer situated. Want to shout out to Payday Productions.
Thank you.
Got that all situated now, so now we should be able to upload it a little more faster pace, to say the least. But
try to get the episodes out, weekly, as much as possible.
Yeah, and we'll just do as many as we can until we fizzle out. So, where do you want to take this one?
Well, we're going to start off saying a big rest in peace to Kevin Conroy, who was the Batman voice actor for many, many years. And a lot of people looked at him as the ideal Batman. I mean, I believe he played him in the Flash TV series on the CW as Batman back when they were doing all those collaborations and stuff like that. It was really interesting stuff they were doing back then. So,
why they never cast him in a movie?
I mean, the most they ever did was the, like I said, the TV series. For his acting, like for the movies, that's a good question. I mean, I think Warner Brothers always has their whoever they want to take, and that's it. I mean, there's always been controversial and people they've wanted to cast. I mean, even going back to Michael Keaton, they said, and then this, prior before internet days, they said there's a big uproar about that. But meanwhile, he was like the best Batman of all time. I mean, technically, everyone will have their opinion who they like the most and what, but me personally, I would take Michael Keaton's my favorite.
Yeah, same. How old was he?
He was 66 years old.
You think they could have had him play like Alfred? Even in Gotham, like any spin-off show.
Even in the last one with Robert Pattinson, I mean, he could have been Alfred. I mean, debating they went with a guy like in his early 30s or whatever. I mean, they could have put him as Alfred. It would have been fine.
Wasn't there a show called Batgirl?
There was a movie that they started filming, and it was a return of Michael Keaton as Batman, and they just scrapped the film. Warner Brothers did. And
you think they could have him played Alfred or anything?
Absolutely. I mean, why not? I mean, and that's the thing with like Warner Brothers when they do these movies. That's
it's whoever. I wonder who does get to make who makes the final casting decision. Like say when the production company decides, okay, we're moving forward with this project, we've greenlit it, we've hired the director. Does the director, I wonder if he hires a casting director and they take it from there, or do you think the director looks at the casting director and goes, look, I want this person, I want this person, and I want this person, and I don't care who else you get for the rest of the cast.
Yeah, make it happen.
But make these people happen and let the rest of them kind of whatever happens. Because that does fascinate me to think about that stuff.
Yeah, I've talked to certain people in the movie business about how that works. They just bring people on, and someone else knows them. It's like a friend, and they're he's going to film this spot. She's going to do this.
That's what I always sort of liked about the idea of the Rob Zombie films, or the even Adam Sandler. And I'm sure other
Happy Madison Productions. Yeah,
like they always have the same cast. They always have the same crew, and I'm sure there's a lot of different changes behind the scenes, but they always have their guys they call in.
It was a good when they did the what's the movie where they're all together, adults,
grown-ups,
yeah, grown-ups, and they had Rob Schneider in it, David Spade, Chris Rock,
and they're all buddies behind the scene too.
Yeah, and they're all buddies in real life. So it's how fun would that get to be? You're making a movie with all your real good close friends. I mean,
yeah, that's why you never see Jim Carrey in the mix with them, because he's just not buddies with them. He might be friendly with them, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he's not a clique.
Those guys probably pull pranks on each other without cameras around.
Right.
But yeah, so where were we though about the
Kevin Conroy?
Yeah, Kevin Conroy,
the Batman. Rest in peace.
The Batman. And he was the most casted Batman ever.
Most casted, yeah, for voice acting, everything else, video games, everything.
Do you know anything about his experience before Batman, or anything he's done outside of Batman?
No, I just really know him from Batman. I know he's done other voice work. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there could give us a whole list of everything he's done.
There's people screaming at the computer right now, or their phone.
Idiots. This is what this guy has done. I mean, it's funny.
You too, imbeciles talking about this guy. No, but we're trying to pay him tribute, Yeah, it's but it does make you wonder sometimes, why don't these people get involved in the other projects or but maybe he loved doing the voiceover stuff.
There's a story about, I'm sure someone could correct us on this, but Adam West wanted to play Alfred back when they did the 1989 Batman movie with Michael Keaton. And I don't get why they didn't do it. I mean, they cast Michael Cotta, who did the Alfred for all those.
He was good too, though.
He's a very, very good Alfred. He was all 4 of them movies,
It might have been a thing where but it takes away from oh, look, there's Batman as Alfred, kind of. Because there's only a niche part of the audience that's going to like that anyway, or even know who he is. For example, even if you knew Adam West, who plays Batman, when you're 9 years old to 15 years old, you're not going to know that's Adam West as Batman or
Yeah.
as Alfred. You're just going to
Right.
think that it's an older gentleman playing the
That's
character.
some other guy playing.
So it's like what they would have to do, a very small part of the audience to even acknowledge what they're up to is just probably not worth it. And
on another note, Friday the 13th fans, we got something very excited to hear about. The new TV series called Crystal Lake, which will be on Peacock streaming services. It's supposed to be about young Jason Voorhees and how it all began from, I guess, original 1980 film to when he grew up for, part 2.
What have you read about that so far?
That's basically all I know. A lot of stuff like that, when I hear about stuff now, I'll read something a little bit about it. I don't want to know stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It's what I used to do all the time. Like, I know the new Halloween's coming out. I read everything. I know everyone's cast. All the details that, as a horror fan, what we do. And then by the time you see it, it's like you knew everything.
Yeah.
There's no shock value to it anymore.
Right, right.
And I quit doing that when Halloween 2018 came out. I said, all right, I saw the cast. I saw, Nick Castle's coming back. Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back. I said, all right, hold up. No more. I don't want to know no more. And what we did is we watched the trailer the day it came out. And I said, all right, I saw the trailer because I know it's going to be everywhere. Yeah. I want to watch it one time. I want to see it. I know I want to see the movie, so I'm just going to watch the trailer the day of, and then I won't see it till after I see the movie.
And now with this Camp Crystal Lake, didn't they come out first? They said Jason will not be a part of it.
Yeah, I read an article that Jason will not be part of it. Now I don't know if it's going off about his dad Elias and mom Pamela. If it was supposed to be about that, or
Jason's father was Elias and the mother was Pamela. I didn't know his father's name was Elias.
Yeah.
Well. Okay.
Us horror fans, crazy people, that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they'll be in it.
Yes.
It's a prequel. Maybe it'll be like a kid going to the lake.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it could be very good. I mean, they have the opportunity to make it right.
Netflix,
Peacock.
Peacock.
Peacock has basically taken over. Netflix is great, but I think Peacock's starting to wait a minute. We're getting
their niche is horror.
Yeah, their niche is letting the Halloween films come out on streaming day of. I mean,
yeah, and they probably pay a lot of money to have it like that. I assume. I'm sure you could even find that information somewhere.
It's out there somewhere. Someone out there knows.
Yeah. So they're doing Camp Crystal Lake, and I just remember hearing at first that Jason would not be a part of it. Now they're saying he is a part of it.
Yes.
Maybe they just didn't want to let out the bag too early.
Yeah, I mean that happens too. Because no matter what they say, you're gonna have a million people that are gonna hate on it. I mean,
oh yeah, they can't please
you. Fans, we just gotta take it for what it is. Okay, we're getting Jason back after 13 long years, which is funny because it's Friday the 13th, and 13 years later, it's been since we've had a new movie.
And who are these written by, or is it just completely different?
I did read it. It was Brian Fuller, I believe is his name.
Does he have any background in?
I think he's the guy that works with what's it called, Platinum Dunes, I believe. So that's your cup of tea or not, but we're still curious to see what this is gonna bring us, and hopefully something great.
Yeah. What's the release date on it?
There's no release date as of right now. If there's anything that's been updated, I just haven't seen it. But like I said, I'm not checking into stuff too much anymore. I'm just waiting to, when it comes out, I'm watching it.
And this is almost a continuation from our last episode.
Yeah, and this is supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like, I think it's like
no, I said from our last episode.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Go.
2 seasons or something. Mm-hmm. And then there's a talk about there's supposed to be a new movie. So I don't know if the new movie's going to be ready. So when the 2 seasons are done or, available for streaming, like season 2 when it's streaming, that's when the new movie
is. Peacock, like they're R-rated, right?
Oh yeah.
So they don't have boundaries then. They can do whatever.
They can do whatever they want.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. I guess they're all like that, right?
See,
Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah, even like AMC, they started that AMC Plus and they're jumping on the horror film stuff.
I don't think Netflix has anything like that.
Netflix, okay, so like
they seem pretty guarded about the content, the adult content. They don't seem to have a lot of that on there.
Well, they had the Dahmer series, which got a lot of
Dahmer.
a lot of people loved it. And a lot of people were disgusted by it. So I mean,
I would have been disgusted about it in real life, but the show is amazing.
The show is good, so just take it for what it is. Okay,
we didn't talk about Dahmer yet at all, did we?
No.
Well, I mean, it's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should stop talking about it. Lights are flickering.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, the Dahmer series though was what Evan Peters from American Horror Story. Everyone knows him by that. But
that was Ryan Murphy who created that American Horror Story, that directed this or wrote this or whatever.
And they set it up perfectly for what, BTK?
No, not BTK. It has John Wayne Gacy in
John
it.
Wayne Gacy,
and Ed Gein.
Ed Gein. Yeah, so you think
and those are like 2 of my favorite parts, like when they had them. I mean, for real people, it's awful.
We're just
watching it for like movie. You could make a good series on both.
You can't be a fan of
horror
scary movies and pout about they're making something based on true events.
Right. The John Wayne Gacy could be a great series. The guy was whoever he was, I'm not sure, but great casting on that.
Yeah.
Ed Gein, they've had several movies with him. Even Kane Hodder played him. in that movie.
Yeah.
And The Butcher of Plainfield or whatever. It was a good film. I mean, it was like Kane Hodder's, I think, first time doing a movie in the horror film industry without a mask on. Like, that was just him. And, it was like, he knocked it out of the park.
He was flexing his acting skills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did good.
He did good.
And then he ended up playing BTK with the same director. I cannot think of his name right now, but the same people, the same crew, they did the BTK with him, and he looked great. I mean, he looked good.
Yeah.
He played off like the smart ass, it was good. It was a great job.
You
Kane.
love that movie.
Yeah, it was a great job.
Yeah. Kane's always been one of your favorites.
Oh, absolutely. One of the nicest guys in the horror film industry. Everyone has met Kane Hodder has always said nothing but nice things about him.
Sure. Yeah. Every time we met him, he's always been super
He's always been super cool.
So, would you rather see BTK or Ed Gein, or?
Well, you mean John Wayne Gacy?
Would you rather see Ed Gein or John Wayne Gacy have their own spinoff?
I'm hoping they do both. No, I don't. I want it to be,
Are you a fan of either one of their works more than the other?
I can't answer that question.
Okay, you might lose your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll bring you in the office, Ryan. We have to talk to you about something.
We're gonna escort you out.
You can't be broadcasting that you're into this stuff.
What's it called? Ed Gein. He inspired the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Leatherface.
Yeah, Leatherface.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hannibal Lecter.
Oh. They spun Hannibal Lecter off of Ed Gein.
That's all.
Who did you say was like the most influential?
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein for sure.
Why?
He was like the very first guy that, when they showed up at his house and there's like people's bones everywhere and masks made out of face and stuff.
You're saying he was the most influential for like writers to start writing about horror?
Absolutely.
Really?
I would say because at the time it was so unheard of. I mean, he was the very first guy that did this stuff that like no other person has
What
ever
year was
done.
he active?
That was back in the 40s, I believe.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
You gotta think like back then it wasn't like today. So I mean,
well, yeah,
he lived like on some farm. Like no one was like, he didn't have some neighbor like up his ass watching every move.
Yeah. Right.
So I mean,
and to be sadistic then.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he wasn't the first. There's no way he was the first.
Well, Jack the Ripper is probably the first.
Jack the Ripper, and then Aleister Crowley would have been somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
But Jack the Ripper's another interesting one because they say to this day, it could have been a man, it could have been a woman.
It wasn't a woman. I would say it's not a woman based off the strength.
Then again,
of the person.
Well,
plus it's not really like I feel like a woman's not going to hire a prostitute to beat her to death and rip her face off. You know what I mean? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like
it's just interesting. Like if you look at the old stuff like the fog and stuff that come in London and like how you could hide and stuff like that in the middle of the night.
Did you ever hear the theory that Jack the Ripper moved to Pittsburgh?
I did hear that.
We're from Pittsburgh, if you don't know.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Penguin. Yeah, I read it somewhere in a book about that they thought he was living in Pittsburgh.
They have a name for the guy that they think might have he matches the descriptions, and he signed some book like a ledger somewhere. They think the handwriting's similar.
Yeah. He wrote it back from hell.
Yeah,
that was the inspiration from the movie. With Johnny Depp, and I believe it was Tim Burton film.
They got like a typographer to look at the comparisons in the handwriting. I mean, it's interesting stuff. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, who knows, right? But they've never truly discovered who Jack the Ripper was.
Never knew.
That would mean that he has relatives possibly in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Possibly.
It
could be you.
It could be you. Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that stuff. It's interesting what sparks the mind of people to do this stuff, and no hesitation, just
I think a lot of
makes people think.
I thought a lot of it's from their childhoods. They're
absolutely
twisted to begin with, and they start tying up pets and hurting them. And if you see that kind of stuff, it's an early sign there's trouble.
Speaking of Jeffrey Dahmer, about him back when he was in high school, he did an interview with the vice president, Walter Mondale or whatever. He was the vice president of the United States of America.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that.
Wow.
You go from that
to Jeffrey Dahmer.
Being Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Happens fast.
Yeah. So I mean,
no, you never know. But that's where conspiracy theorists come into. Like, they'll go, oh, what's the likeliness that Jeffrey Dahmer got to speak with the vice president? See, he was inside of a cult. He was part of the Illuminati. But it is interesting though, because I've never had a conversation with the vice president.
Right.
And I don't know anyone personally that has. I mean, maybe someone could message me and tell me they have. The more you unveil about things, it is interesting that these certain people do go on. What's the odds that Jeffrey Dahmer had a conversation with the vice president? They go, that's how conspiracy
for the school newspaper that he was part of. Yeah,
exactly. And he was manipulating the paper too. And I see a lot of conspiracy theorists of like, see. The press manipulating. That's how it starts. You know what I mean? Like, but if anything, you could say it is an odd coincidence at the very least.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I think it's funny how there's always that little like, how is that possible? It is odd, to say the least, you know.
And things like that just
Yeah, because what is the odds that Jeffrey Dahmer had a conversation with the vice president
of the United States of America?
They cover that in that show, My Buddy Jeffrey or something.
Oh, My Friend Dahmer.
My Friend Dahmer, yeah. I like that movie. That was pretty good.
That was good. That was a kid from what's it? The Nickelodeon show. Austin and Alley, that's what it was. Can't think of his name, but yeah, he did a phenomenal job, you know?
Yeah, it's funny how so many people can look like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, don't take much.
I saw another guy on Halloween that was dressed up as Jeffrey Dahmer. Did you see that guy? We were at that party.
I did not.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. He looked pretty good though. How quick that happens.
Well, you talked about serial killers and, you know, Batman.
Well, you can't talk about serial killers without mentioning the likes of Jeffrey Dahmer, Jack the Ripper. Who
Right.
else?
Ed Gein.
Gein.
Say the one you keep saying.
BTK. Night Stalker.
It's funny though, BTK, he was working for a church when he got caught.
Yeah.
A church. His daughter
Yeah.
was the one that ratted him out.
Talk about a good cover though.
But imagine that, working for a church for like, what? He was in the church for like 20, 30 years. Okay?
Where'd he live at?
It was somewhere in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Santa.
So he wasn't in some like hillbilly town.
No. So he was out there. He quit writing stuff. All of a sudden, he started writing stuff back to the police again, like 30 years after his last kill. And then it's like his daughter's on a busted him. You imagine that, like growing up, my dad was BTK at the police have been looking for her.
Imagine what her friends thought.
Yeah, like spending the night and he's like walking around. I was, hey girls, how you doing?
You guys want some iced tea?
Want some iced tea?
Wow.
Who wants popcorn?
Yeah.
And the thing at the thanks, Mr. Raider. Yeah, his name was Dennis Rader. That was his real name.
Okay. Is he's dead now?
I think he's still alive.
Oh, really?
He's in jail. I mean, he ain't getting
Maybe we
out.
can interview him soon. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
Crazy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Where else you want to take this?
Our next one is going to be one based on Batman. So we start off a little bit of Batman today, but we're going to get deep into Batman on the next one.
Yeah, that's going to be one of our fun episodes that we do.
So we hope everyone out there likes the fun episodes we're going to do, because we're really planning to start doing a lot more and more and more.
Yeah, just let us know in the comments what you think. You know, if you had fun, make sure to like and subscribe to everything, you know, all that fun stuff. It's us against the algorithms of YouTube and Google. And, you know, we're just sitting in a room right now. And hopefully the more people that comment, the more people they'll allow to see it. So, you know,
share with your friends and family and who, you know,
we need everyone's help for sure. Before we wrap this one up, what anything in the news? We got to be more prepared.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for the holidays. It'll be Thanksgiving next week.
Yeah.
And then Christmas coming up right around the bend, and we'll be doing some Christmas episodes, I guess.
Yes. And one thing we are going to do is a couple watch along with movies. With our Christmas one, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
So how are we doing that? We're going to watch the movie.
We're going to watch it, and we can get people that watch the movie. We'll start the movie together, and we can do our commentary on the film, you know?
Okay.
Like when he's punish, you know, like that's what I love when he says it in the movie. So
there you go.
It's one of the most craziest movies probably ever made, but
we
might do that. And maybe for fun, we'll get into a little Santa with muscles with the only one and only Hulk Hogan.
All right. Cool.
So, I mean, we do that. The Grinch.
With Jim Carrey, of course. And the cartoon.
Cartoon by far. It's always been my favorite. Oh, Home Alone. Maybe we'll squeeze in Home Alone.
Look what you did, you little jerk. Yeah, so Home Alone, we'll get a bunch of those movies.
Yeah, we'll try to get some, you know, stuff. We'll just make fun with it. You know, if people got time to watch the movie and write in the comment section and stuff like that. You know, we can all have fun with this.
Are we going to watch like the whole movie? Like, I don't understand how we're going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to watch the movies.
No, but I mean like on live?
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right, well, we'll wrap this one up. Mass Culture Podcast, episode number
3.
All right, and then see you guys soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Give it time to figure it out.